guys, it's Sarah. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to be going through my entire process with my feeding tube. So I have a GJ feeding tube. I think it's called a gastrojejunal feeding tube, and I have the MUC-KEY button, and I'll show you what it looks like and all of that. And I'm gonna show you pretty much everything, the entire process with my feeding tube. Having a feeding tube is not fun, it's gross. Things can happen like leaks and granulation tissue, and it's not all around a fun experience. But don't get me wrong, I am beyond grateful that I have the opportunity to have a feeding tube. I don't know how I would be right now if I did not get a feeding tube when I did. So yeah, if you do not know, I have gastroparesis and small bowel obstruction, but basically to sum it up, I have paralysis basically of my entire GI system, mainly my stomach and small intestine. So that is due to having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a genetic connective tissue disease. I'll say it slower, genetic connective tissue disease, and that has caused many other comorbidities that I can talk about later on, but the main one right now for this video is like gastroparesis and why I need a feeding tube. So just a couple things. I have had my feeding tube for almost 2 years. It will be 2 years in the beginning of December, so we're right there. About 2 years with my feeding tube. I get, I would say, 98% of my nutrition from my feeding tube. I get probably a good 80% of my water fluid through my feeding tube, and that is the best way for me to get it. It's hard for me to drink a lot because I do have paralysis of my stomach as well, but I do get intravenous IV hydration through my port twice a week, and that has really helped and benefited me with having gastroparesis and also having POTS, and I can talk about that later on. I should probably just do a video all about my comorbidities, about everything that I have. And also, if you see a lot of fluid retention right now compared to past videos, I am in a pretty big flare-up. I have a liver disease that I was born with, and it's flaring up right now. So I have a lot of abdominal fluid retention. I look really swollen and bloated, and it is really uncomfortable, but it's just part of having my liver disease. And if you don't know, I will be getting a liver transplant down the line, probably in the next few years. Don't have a great timeline right now. I am currently waiting to get a liver biopsy, and that will tell me more about what the future looks like, timelines and all of that. It's a lot. I won't go into it too much right now, but yeah, if you see me with bloated belly, it's embarrassing, but I do want to show you that it is a reality. And I am going to show pretty much everything, even the gross stuff. So if you don't want to see gross stuff, I'll give a little bit of a warning. If it's super gross, it's not going to be that gross. But I wish that I would have had a video like this before I got my feeding tube, of encouraging it is doable, it is possible, and it is beneficial if you need it. I wouldn't say, I wouldn't recommend it if you don't need it. Don't get me wrong. If you have the ability to and it's necessary, I hope this video kind of shows you what having a feeding tube does look like. So hope it's somewhat helpful. So right now I look crazy because I'm about to get in the shower, so I'll kind of show how I prep for my like shower, and then when I get out of the shower, how I access my feeding tube, and then how I set up my, sorry about the shakiness, it's kind of hard for me to hold, but how I set up my feeding tube backpack. You can kind of see back there, that's what my backpack looks like right there. I use the Mighty Well Infusion, I think it's called the Infusion backpack, and that's what I've been using since September. My preferred way of having a feeding tube is using a backpack. I have an IV pole, but I don't use it really. I just use it to hang my backpack up right now, until I get like a more permanent hook to hang it on that can hold all that weight. It is really heavy, so keep that in mind. But I do use a backpack. I'll show you how I set that up, and I'll show you all the products I use and everything. So yeah, I hope this is helpful. Please comment below if you have any questions, if I can do a video that goes into detail about any specific thing that I talked about here, and yeah, I just hope this is helpful, honestly. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so water is heating up, so I'm just going to show you how I disconnect from my old tubing and all of that. Disconnect that. I'm gonna disconnect this. Tape. Take tape off of this. See, this is dirty now. Turn it. Yeah, my stoma's a little red. So I just put one of these next to the shower, so once I get out I can put something on temporarily so the leaks aren't all over me that I just cleaned. So yeah, this helps. Okay, so I just got out of the shower. As you can see,
I have the start of what is called granulation tissue, and then I also have a blister from where my tape was. That's mast cell activation syndrome for you. So I'm gonna put on like something for the blister, and then I'm also just gonna let my stoma soak with saline spray or wound wash, with gauze soaked for about half an hour or as long as I can before I crash out because I'm really tired. So I'll show you what that looks like, and then after that I have to set everything up. So let's start with treating the granulation tissue that's starting and the blister. So yeah, here we go. Always tie my shirt up to get it out of the way. And yes, I already just washed my hands. A tip for leaking, take a paper towel. You can fold it as much as you want, and then I put this like this and tuck it just in case it does leak. It will be caught by the paper towel and not get my pants all gross. So yeah, I'll start with the bandage part. So I use these hydrocolloid, I don't know, dressings for blisters because they heal a lot faster with that. So I have a scrap piece and it's right up here, so just gonna cut out a little piece and then let it just stay on until it falls off basically, or until my next shower. So there we go. And then I'm going to clean my stoma. I use gauze for this, especially in this type of situation, but I'll let it sit and soak in the 2x2 gauze. Gotta clean it first. It hurts pretty bad right now. I don't know if you can see that, but it is bright red and it hurts. And I don't know how that happened, but it's underneath, so it's harder to catch. So I use this wound wash because that's what they have at the store, but I use all different brands. Oh. These ones are powerful. A little much, but I just need to clean it. So you can already see I have stuff there. And then I use fold it so I can fully clean it. Not much else. And then take the 2x2 gauze, spray this, soak it, kind of push out the edges but keep the center full. And then I kind of, since it's so small, kind of like wrap it around. You can see it's leaking a little bit, but it's just water or this saline spray, so we're all good. And then I'm gonna take a paper towel. We got the wrong size. Normally I do the smaller size, but they didn't have it, or we didn't get the right one somehow. It produces a lot more waste, so it's not my favorite. Then because it's only gonna be for a little bit, I'll just use this because I don't see the other tape. This tape is expensive though. So just gonna kind of tape it down a little bit. Just in case it leaks. Part of having a feeding tube is they leak. And then I'll put a tiny piece here at the top. Okay, so I'm gonna let the wound wash sit for as long as I can, half an hour to an hour, and then get the new tubing out, do all that stuff, and then hopefully get some rest. So yeah.
Actually, what I'm gonna do is set up my backpack and everything now. So it's ready. Once I get my button all set up, my brain isn't working right now, but I'm gonna do that now so it's easier and faster and I can go to sleep sooner. So I'll take you through that process. Right now I'm gonna keep everything in real time as possible, but I may fast forward some parts of it, but okay. Here's the next step, I guess. I hope that this is a good angle, so sorry if it's not the best and the best lighting, but this is what I have to work with right now, so I'm gonna get started and show you how to do this and how I set up my backpack for my feet. Okay, so this is my Mighty Well backpack. I'll link it below, but this is how I set it up. So first things first is I feed this back through the hole, the tubing. I undo the Velcro, which is kind of loud, sorry, on both sides. And then I take this and get the tubing out of here. This side, and then I unclip both of them. And then this is trash. This is from last night's feeds or today's feeds, so yeah. And then I get a brand new one. This is the, I'll show you, Kangaroo Joey pump set with flush bags, and it's 1,000 cc's or mLs per bag. So my hands are clean. I did use hand sanitizer before this. And with a feeding tube, the goal is not sterile, but the goal is clean. So keep in mind, this does not have to be sterile, just clean. So I clip this one here, and then my feed bag on the right. Next, I fill up the bags. So I'll fill up my blue bag, which is for fluids. Yes, I use Fiji water. This is what my doctor recommended me to use. So do not hate. I get them in the largest size possible, and we recycle every single one of them. I know it's not ideal, but this is what my doctor has recommended me to do. So take it up with her. Okay. So I do 1,000 or a liter, 1,000 milliliters or a full liter of fluids. And there are little markings on the bag. I fill it all the way up and a little bit more. And I keep the one for my feeding tube and the one that I drink out of separately, just so you know. Keep them separate for cleanliness. Okay. now I do my formula bag. So this is gonna sound complicated, but we are trying to do different things to help with my hypoglycemia, so we dilute it a little bit. So I do one of these of regular water, which is 250 ml. So I do that first. It's just a little bit. And then I do 3 of the Peptamen 1.5. I shake first and then put it in there. Very repetitive, but this is what you have to do. While I pour, I shake the other one. Multitasking. Close the lids very tight. Okay. Done with that. Now, I wish that this worked a little bit better, but what I do, see how long these are? It will cause a kink in the bottom of the bag because it's not quite long enough this way the backpack is. So what I do is I clip it to this part. I don't know if you can see, but this part where the lid meets. It's hard to explain. I'll show you up close after. I'm tired, guys. Okay, hold on, my back. Then, I make sure I secure both bags. This is my favorite way to do it. I know that sometimes I see these Velcro things being used to put the pump in, but that just doesn't work for me, so I like it holds the bags in place though. It's perfect for that. Make sure the tubing is coming out of the bottom here. Okay, now, but here is my pump, very heavy. You can see the diagram there. But what I do is you open it up, and then it's kind of hard to show you. I will show you what it looks like after, but you put this piece through here, like around it, and this is what it looks like. Okay, and then I close it, and yes, my pump goes sideways, like this. That's how it fits best for me. And then I put the line behind this one, undo it, and I'm going to feed this through the hole in the side of this bag on the right side. And now it's all set up. So I basically just plug this in and then turn it on. If you have the jelly, sometimes the settings will restart and it's so annoying to enter it over and over again. I I have found that happens less if you plug it in and then turn it on. It happens a lot less. So I'll show you what that looks like if I can give you a good view of it. I just was able to get this barely far enough, so I plug it in. The plug is behind, and then I press on. This is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see. Try to turn the brightness down. I'm gonna go press keep settings, prime pump. I'm gonna take the cap off. Just trying to make you guys be able to see it, but you can't really. Then I press auto prime. And I wait for it to auto prime. Which takes a bit. It says priming. So you can start seeing the formula there. What I do is I have this little Dixie cups that I put the line in. And then I'll make sure I get the feed formula all the way to the end. So I go prime feed and done. Okay, that's all I do. And then I press done. And then I'm gonna turn it off so I can get my feeding tube all set up, and then like my button, and then I'm going to turn this back on and plug myself in and feed for 19-20 hours. So yeah. Off. Okay. Put the cap back on for now. Just gonna leave it as is. I am now going to go ahead and I think it's been enough time to access my J tube and all that, so I'll show you what it looks like, and I'm almost done. And I'm super tired, so. Alright, I do this now. Tie my shirt back up. Pants back up, wash my hands. Get another one. Should have kept the other one, but I threw it out. Pop it into our pants. And now take this off. I think I'm actually just gonna let this sit overnight. I've done it before. It can't hurt really, so I think I'm just gonna do that overnight. See if it improves the redness and granulation tissue. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. But first, I'm gonna re-wet it. And clean at the same time. I might have to redo that. It might make a mess when I do this. So this is what I use for my Mickey button. Oh, I have to go get water. Hold on. Got a little cup here. Fill that with water. Not much, but just enough. And I have to get a new syringe out. Fill it up
30 mLs or cc's. I'm gonna prime this because otherwise it doesn't last as long, I found, and stay as clean and all that. It's kind of important. So I did that. I'm gonna press through here, close this one on the side, close the big one. Look at this broken nail. Ow. Okay. Almost done. I'm gonna have to redo this, I bet you. So, this is the G. This is the J. This is the balloon that keeps it in place, that you inflate and all of that. So, but I need to access the J because I feed solely through the J tube. So I have everything in line. I kind of slip it, like, sometimes it will leak, sometimes it doesn't. It didn't leak this time, thankfully. This is what that gauze. And what I do, not everyone does this, I found, but I pull it over and close the G port. So that's what I do. And then I don't want to put the rest of this to waste, so I'm just going to flush. I don't know why this is so hard for me to open today. Alright. Clamp. Now with the tape. Okay. This is what I use. Hyperfix. My phone just died on me, so we're gonna do this super fast. As fast as we can. So I use Hyperfix. I cut it down the middle. Take that off. Piece of it. I go like this and tape the tape to itself. And then tape it to it. Just so it doesn't get, this doesn't get yanked out. Okay, now I'm gonna leave this, I'm gonna put one of these over top of it. There's two in the pack. I'm gonna put one on. And then use this tape really fast. Keep it down. Then I'm gonna take one of these because I have anxiety and I can't sleep without some sort of leak protection. And I use Hyperfix to tape this all down. So I'm just gonna do that as fast as I can. Just in case. I use one of these just in case this leaks. Good with that. Okay. just need to go plug my extension in and then run my feeds. Let's do that.
So that's my backpack hanging up. This is the extension. This is the tube. What I do is I always have a paper towel just in case. Again, just in case it leaks. It's happened so many times to me. So do that. Make sure your tube is clamped. And then go like this. Kind of screw it on. Make sure it's in the right way. And then close up the little cover. And that's almost it. Alright, so it's plugged in. Turn it on. Keep settings. I already did the priming, so I run, hold, clear volume, so I got 1052 mLs of flush and 923 mLs of feeds from my last feed. So I go clear volume, it starts it over, and I go run again. Then I unclamp the clamp to my extension. My backpack is good to go. I zip it up, and that's it. So that is it. That is how I set up my feeds, starting fresh, right after a shower. New extension, knew all of that in detail, deep detail. I'm sure this video is super long, but I wanted to really go in detail about how I do this and the tips and tricks that I've learned. Like, some things I was running out of battery, so I couldn't say, but this is also kind of showing, which I didn't expect, that I have the start of granulation tissue, and how cleaning your stoma is so important to not get granulation tissue. It's awful, it's not fun. So just doing like the soak with saline or wound wash, whatever you have, is really helpful, but doing it overnight is even better. I'll talk a little bit about the pump itself and all of that. So again, I use the Peptamen 1.5. I use 3 cartons, and I dilute it with the same amount, so it's like getting 3 cartons of formula, 1 carton of water. Kind of dilute it a little bit. And so I get a full liter of that, and that is running at 55 mLs per hour. So it's about 19 hours, give or take, for the whole thing. And then I do a liter of fluid, so it is at a rate of 50 mLs, so it flushes. It doesn't work the same as like the pump. It will flush the amount you set it to, however often you set it to. It's flushing 50 mLs every single hour, and it does one big flush, versus the feeds where it's a little drip by drip by drip to reach the 55 mLs per hour. So and then again, I use the Kangaroo Joey pump. I wish I could get access to the infinity pump, but this is what I have for now. And I've had a feeding tube for 2 years, nearly. So there's some tips and tricks that I have learned. Comment below if you have any tips and tricks with feeding tubes or infusions or anything like that. Let me know. I can also do a tour of the Mighty Well bag if you want to know if it's worth it, how I utilize it best, and all of that. And if you guys have any other like comments, questions, topics you want me to talk about regarding really anything spoonie related or feeding tube specific or EDS or POTS or Ollie, my service dog, which you have not seen because he's passed out on my parents' bed right now. I need to go get him because it's super, super late. Insomnia, am I right? Okay, so I am done for the night. I'm going to go get Ollie, make sure he goes to the bathroom, get ready for tomorrow because tomorrow I have IV hydration. So let's see how that goes. Hopefully well. Ollie's coming with me. That's the plan anyway. And yeah, again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. Even just the like or the comment or the view means a lot to me. And I want to build a community of people who are dealing with similar things or have family members that are, or that just want to support someone that is disabled and chronically ill. I appreciate your support, so thank you. Thank you again for being here. I'm gonna go. I know I rambled. I apologize. That's what I do best, is ramble. And I'm having a hard time talking because I think my blood sugar is low because I haven't had my feeds for a couple hours. So blood sugar is low, I can tell. And I'm starting to slur my speech. So I'm gonna go to bed. Okay. Bye everyone.